Hi, Elaine. It's Chris Westfall here, and I'm up in Central Florida in Orange City between Orlando and Daytona Beach. I've been a Florida resident all my life and a licensed insurance agent here for 19 years. And I just want to share with you, thanks for writing to me, by the way. In case you have not seen all of these are the companies available to you on Plan F. Now, Plan F is the most common plan. Everybody tries to push that plan because, frankly, the insurance companies and the agents make more money on Plan F. Not my personal favorite, though. I like Plan G, and if you saw my earlier video, you probably already know that. There's not a great variation here between F and G. Let me just do a quick calculation here. 235.32 minus 217, 44, $17 a month. The value of the deductible is only $12.25. That's the difference between the two. So you're only going to save $67 a year by going to Plan G. Any money that I can save a senior, I'm all about that. One thing that you'll notice, it's kind of interesting here as we look at these companies, there's a lot of options for Plan F, like AARP, but when you go to Plan G, there are less options, and actually AARP is not there. You know why AARP does not sell Plan F? I'm sorry, for Plan G, which is the better value plan in my opinion. That's the plan where you have to pay a $147 deductible, but that's Medicare's deductible, so somebody's got to pay it, right? And Plan F pays that deductible for you and charges you more money to do that. So that extra charge in there is a convenience fee. That's what I call it. And all these companies make a lot of profit margin on that fee. What they're literally doing is taking the deductible out of your bank account and passing it on to Medicare for you. And that's the only difference between F and G. On G, you pay the deductible yourself. It's only $147 a year, and that's only at the doctor's office and outpatient things, not in the hospital. In the hospital, both of these plans are exactly the same. But on Plan F, they'll pay that $147 for you and charge you, in this case, about $200 a year. So they'll charge you $200 for a $147 deductible. That's the only difference. And again, that's pure profit, the difference. So that's why AARP and some others don't offer Plan G. Plan G is the better deal. Now, I'll tell you, we sell insurance over the phone through the computer just like this, where you can see me interactive, and we do the enrollments that way. It's very easy, so you don't have to have somebody come over to your house. If you're turning 65, you probably already had people come into your house a lot. They knock on your door, they call you all the time, they fill up your mailbox full of junk, I know. But we do enrollments this way. It's a lot. It's more personal, but it's less personal because you don't have to have somebody in your apartment or in your house doing it across the table, especially if the agent stinks. You don't want to smell a stinky agent that's been running around in South Florida all day and then have him come and sit and smell himself in your house. But I don't know why I got off that tangent. Just want to tell you, we do sell in a lot of different states, and these rates are horrible. I mean, Stonebridge Life has got the best rate. They're a great company. I know the vice president well. His name is Lance Larson, and we're working together on doing an electronic application for their company. So I know Stonebridge very well, and they're good people. They also happen to have the best rate. But that aside, you know, if you lived in South Carolina, for instance, watch this, 29466. If you lived in South Carolina and you're turning 65 years old, your rate on that same plan would be $96 a month. Cigna would be the best rate then, $96 a month. But you don't live in South Carolina. You live right here in the great state of Florida. So Florida makes it very difficult for people to have a Medicare supplement plan. I don't know why that is. They don't go to the doctor anymore in Florida than they do out of state. But there's such a big difference in Florida. Obviously, it's double the price. And so that makes Medicare Advantage a consideration. And my mom, she just moved out of Florida back to Arkansas, so she went to a Medicare supplement now. But here, she could not afford anywhere close to that. So she went on a Medicare Advantage plan. And she goes to the doctor a lot, so it costs her a lot in copays. But as I look at the Medicare Advantage options that you've got down there, I'm just looking at the HMOs. My personal favorite with all these is the one that's got the 4.5 stars, and that's going to be Humana. Some people like them, some people don't like them, but when they've got 4.5 out of every 5 people saying that they're the best plan, it tends to lean towards them being doing something right. This is the plan that my mom was on when she was here, the Humana Gold Plus. Now, you've got to play by their rules, which you already know. You've got to pick a primary care doctor. You've got to pay, well, where you are, it's $0 for a primary care physician, $5 at a specialist, which is really good comparatively. I mean, let's look next to it, $35 at a specialist. So this Humana plan is pretty darn good compared to the other ones. And your MOOP, that's your maximum out of pocket before you're completely done paying anything. And the maximum out of pocket on Humana is the lowest that it can possibly be within the range that the government says, as opposed to being the highest, which is $6,700. So they're really good on their benefits down there. The only questions are, is your doctor in the plan? If not, then you have to change doctors, and that's not real fun. So let's look at some of their other benefits that they've got. What I always want to focus in on is outpatient stuff, because that's not bad. $65 copay to the emergency room on Humana. Urgent care is $0 to $5. That's nice. So you can get in, if you can't get into your primary care doctor, you can still get into urgent care, and that's nice. But one of the things I want to show you is, first, the drug plan is included on this plan, and they're the different copays for the different tiers of drugs. So that's included, whereas on the Medicare supplement, you have to get your own drug plan and put it in there, and that's somewhere between $10 and $30 a month, depending on which drug plan you get. And where is it? We're almost there. They do have Medicare covered dental benefits, which is not much, but what they do add with Humana is an oral cleaning every year. So that's going to be no charge. Vision services, hearing services, that's not a great big deal. And I wanted to look at, there we go. No, that's not it. There we go. This is a big concern, and this does not address it, unfortunately. When people are 65 and they go older, I don't know if you've been experienced with this or not, but cancer seems to come up a lot in my clients. And when you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, the typical experience is that Medicare Advantage plans, and it doesn't matter which one it is, they don't pay anything for chemotherapy. They pay 80%, just like original Medicare does, but they don't pay the other 20% like a supplement would. So if you're doing outpatient chemotherapy and you're on original Medicare, Medicare is going to pay 80%. Well, if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, that's where the benefit stops. See, they have to match original Medicare, but they don't have to go over it. And chemotherapy is one of the most expensive uses of Medicare that there are. So when you give up original Medicare to go into a Medicare Advantage plan, you basically turn over all of your healthcare decisions to that HMO. And in doing so, when you are faced with something like chemotherapy, you've got to know that you're going to pay 20% of what could be a $14,000 bill each and every month. And I hope it never happens, and it probably won't. Hopefully you know no one out there that's ever been affected by cancer, but I do, and I know that this has impacted my clients in the past, so I want to make sure you know, if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan or you're deciding on one, please check to see what's covered with cancer treatment. And you'll find in most all of them that I know that they'll cover up to 80%, and that's it. Whereas if you were on the Stonebridge Medicare supplement plan, Medicare pays 80%, and again, you go to any doctor or facility you want to go to, anywhere, and the supplement pays the other 20%. The neatest thing about the Medicare supplements, in my experience with them, 19 years now, is if you want to go to Johns Hopkins University because they're studying your kind of brain tumor, they'll cover it on Medicare. If you want to go to MD Anderson in Houston, which is a great cancer treatment place, your Medicare supplement will cover it 100%. All you do is pick up the phone, make an appointment. It's paid for. On these HMOs, on these Medicare Advantage plans, that's not the case. The bigger, the stronger, the more specific treatment, those places are not part of an HMO at all. And they never will be, because they don't give the best price, the best deal. And again, when you go on a Medicare Advantage, you've given up your right to go where you want to go and get the treatment you want to get, even what your doctor wants you to get. And you have to go by the guidelines of what's the most cost-effective treatment for you. So I hate to say this, Miss Elaine, but it all comes down to price. If you can afford it, I strongly suggest doing the Medicare supplement plan, because it's going to give you all the freedom that you want, and all the bills will still be paid. And it just comes down to that monthly premium. Again, I suggest Plan G for the best value for your money, but for $217 a month plus the drug plan, you can go to any doctor and any hospital that you want to go to. Without that, you're limited on the HMO. And if you have to be, that's fine, but I'd want to caution you to find the best one that has most of your doctors in there. And I can certainly help you do that. I am contracted with the Medicare Advantage plans that are down there, but my choice for you, if you're my mom, I would tell you, just like I told her, pay for the Medicare supplement, because as we get older, when you're 65, going to 67, going to 69, that's when things happen, and utilization of healthcare is the most important thing out there. Who you go to for your treatment is most important when you're using it a lot. So if you can afford a Medicare supplement, I strongly suggest getting one, because it's your life and you can go anywhere you want and you can get the treatment that your doctor says you're going to get, not what's cheapest and in the best interest of an insurance company. So that's my 2 cents for what it's worth. If I can help you, our phone number here is 800-729-9590, and I'll put it up on my fancy screen. Again, our number here is, maybe I will, or maybe it won't work. It's 800-729-9590. And thanks so much again for sending the email. If I can help, please let me be the one that does help you. Thanks. Bye-bye.